Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Pawtucket School Committee regular meeting on Tuesday, November 12th at 6:03 PM. Miss List, please take a roll call.
Ms. Carney.
Here.
Mr. Shalal.
Here.
Ms. Doobie.
Here.
Ms. Fernandez.
Here.
Ms. Grant. Mr. Charbonneau.
Here, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, special report of the student representatives. Do we have anyone here from Shea?
Alrighty, good afternoon all. My name is Anthony Cruz.
My name is Matias Calvo. And we would like to present our updates for the month of November. First, Shea High School hosted our homecoming dance on October 4th. We had over 170 students attend the dance. It was an amazing evening. We want to give a shout out to Miss Tira Cole, who donated a photo booth for the students. The Shea High School open house took place on September 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. It was an amazing night for our families to see what Shea High has to offer. It showcased our school to our families with clubs, partners, and our own Shea High School showcasing the amazing school that Shea High School is. On October 11th, we hosted a senior assembly in which our seniors received information regarding the senior snow shoveling and voter registration programs. These opportunities are great ways for our Shea students to engage with the community and complete civic duties. In addition, the Taylor Hooten Foundation presented on the dangers of performance-enhancing drugs. This was an informative presentation. Our Key Club is hosting a food drive also. This drive began on October 1st and we will continue until Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, so also Shea High School hosted its first blood drive of the year on October 28th. It was from 8 to 2, and we hope to continue supporting Shea as our students are able to get your blood in the game. Shea also received an award for this from the Blood Center for most improved and outstanding. Alrighty, we hosted Congressman Gabe Amo last month thanks to Miss Rodriguez. Congressman Amo provided valuable insight and information for our students that they did not know before. Also, last month, we began our work with Brown University. Students from Brown University have provided opportunities to tutor and provide guidance to our students. It is a very resourceful program. We will host our Battle of the Classes pep rally on November 25th and 26th. The culminating event will be on December 20th, and we are excited to show our school spirit. A group of seniors last month went to Bryant University as a part of their Belonging Institute Day. They took part in belonging activities and listened to 2 keynote speakers throughout the day and also went home with some free stuff. On the athletic front, our fall sports teams competed all season and showed the true Raider way. Multiple teams were complimented on their performance on and off the field. Also, I know everyone knows this, but our boys soccer team defeated Lincoln High School 1-0 on Sunday to win their Division II championship. So, we can, we will, we are Shea High. Have a great night.
Fully gone. Anyone here from Tolman? How about Jackie Walsh?
Good evening. My name is Nevaeh Senecal. I'm a senior visual art major at JMW. Currently at JMW, we've had a busy month with multiple high school fairs in the evenings and our own prospective students open house where we welcomed over 70 families and were able to show them what it's like to be a part of the JMW community. Our applications are open and the deadline is January 10th. And our auditions will be held on Saturday, March 1st. We also had a school-wide performance thanks to FirstWorks, where we got to experience an intercultural music conversation with percussion from Eastern and West Africa. Our theater and music students have also attended some performances at the GAM, RIC, and CCRI, where they had the opportunity to see professional theater as well as some recent alumni. On October 29th, we held Fear Fest, where student council and art students spookified our entryway, and then we had our jazz band perform, as well as a theater production, a student film premiere, and a performance from our K-pop dance club. We filled the auditorium and it was a very festive evening. Coming up, our mock trial team has their first trial of the season on Thursday and will take on Wheeler at the Providence Superior Court. Also, our Tri-M music students have their fall concert on Tuesday, November 19th at 7 p.m. at the Rhode Island Philharmonic Music School. This gives some of our music students an opportunity to perform some of the pieces they have been working on this year. Next week, we have a special performance by Trinity and Brown University for our students. We are also excited to prepare for Junior Achievement Inspire, which is at the Convention Center in December. Thank you.
All right, we will move to recognition. Superintendent?
Mariah Stephanie here? Well, this was easier to move than the last one. So good evening, everyone. I'm truly honored to stand here today to celebrate an outstanding accomplishment by one of our own Channel 10 Athlete of the Week, Mariah Stephanie, a 12th grade student at Tolman High School. Mariah has set a new standard of excellence, becoming Tolman's first female soccer player to reach 100 goals. Mariah, your dedication, skill, and perseverance inspire your teammates, your coaches, and all of us in the Pawtucket School Department. You have proven with hard work and determination, anything is possible. Thank you, State Representative Leonella Felix, for recognizing Mariah with this citation. It's a testament to her impact on our community and a proud moment for Tolman High School. And congratulations again on this historic achievement. So your citation, be it hereby known to all that the Rhode Island House of Representatives hereby offers its sincere congratulations to Mariah Stefanik, Tolman High School, the outstanding athletic achievement of scoring 100 goals as a member of the Tolman and Tolman Shade Co-op soccer team. Proposed by Representative Leonella Felix. And she has more. And you have a certificate as well from the school department for being the first female soccer player, girl power, in Tolman history for scoring 100 goals as a member of the Tolman Shade Co-op soccer team. From your chairman and myself. Thank you.
Outstanding. All right, we will move to public participation. Mr. Cameron Sagala.
Hello, everyone. So I just wanted to begin before I discuss what I wanted to discuss. Not everybody knows me personally or why I come to these meetings, or why do I care? Some of you may know I ran for mayor, so why come to school committee meetings? For me, school was everything. I had a hard home life, so when most kids are dreading going to school, I woke up every day excited to get out of my house. I wait all summer. The first day of school was like the best day for me. Because I had support. I had teachers that cared. In fact, one of my old history teachers is actually here in the audience was like pleasant surprise. Um, you know, history is very important because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So sometimes I come to the podium and I repeat certain things and I say things over and over. It's because I want to get my point across. So I wanted to start by taking a moment to first congratulate all the new incoming school committee members. And I see some of them are here, so that's great. I also want to remind them that they are here to represent us. The mayor and the Teachers Alliance offered them their support, and that's great, but that does not mean that you guys work for them. You still work for us. We voted you in, and as we found out during the last meeting, there is no body above you guys to hold you accountable except for the voters. So that's important to remember. The community will be watching very closely. I spoke with most of the incoming members. I've congratulated them, and they are all fine people. There's nothing wrong with their character. They're good people, so I trust that they will do the right thing, and I trust that they are ready to move forward and create a better school system for all Pawtucket students, parents, teachers, and administrators. And as long as they vote in the best interest of our community, we will have their back. If they choose to ignore us, we will make sure they are not reelected. I also want to remind the teachers, especially the ones in the Teachers Alliance, you do not work for your union president. He's there to represent you in contract negotiations and speak on your behalf, but he has no authority over your actions. So if you find that he's telling you to do something that you do not want to do, you are under no obligation to listen. Because I have had members reach out to me and others saying so. I also want to discuss the superintendent, and I want to say thank you very much for everything that you've been doing for our schools and our students, and it's very much appreciated. She hasn't been here long, but she's done so much, seriously so much, and people see it and the community sees it. And I recently found out the other day that she's not only the first African-American superintendent in Pawtucket, but the first in Rhode Island. And we should all be very proud of that. Our city's strength lies in our diversity, and it should be celebrated, never railroaded. Unfortunately, there are forces out there that don't want her here. And no one seems to have any good reason why. It really makes me upset. Let me make one thing very clear to all the incoming committee members. If you guys try to vote her out, to remove her, I will do everything personally, and others will do everything to make sure that you are not reelected. And that's a promise. The community supports Superintendent Royale. The students support her. Many teachers support her, and the support staff supports her. So I will remind the incoming members again that you do work for us. We voted you in, and we can vote you out. Thank you.
All right. We will move to presentation, district strategic plan and review. Superintendent Royal, floor is yours.
So this evening, we're going, yeah. First, she's hooking us up. We're going to present the PSD strategic plan, and every year, even though it goes until 2026, every district in the state of Rhode Island have to present to RIDE their strategic plan, where what are your goals, what are your initiatives, how do you plan to accomplish those goals? Also looks at the data and et cetera. So we're going to go through our strategic plan. I think a couple of meetings ago, I presented a year in review. So this is now our plan moving forward. Thank you. We just received our final data probably a few weeks ago. And moving forward, these are where we're starting. Like today, we met with our principals and their principal training. So we pull principals once a month in APs to review their strategic plan, the school improvement plan, and all of the schools' school improvement plans have to align to the district's strategic plan. So we're all rowing in the same direction to accomplish a common goal. So that's what we'll be reviewing this evening. I also have my cabinet members who will be sharing with you the goals for their departments as well. So we'll start with Lee Rabbit with our district priorities, our 5 district top priorities.
Good evening. It's good to see everyone. So I'm going to start off with the district priorities, and then we're going to lead in more to our strategic plan and the various areas of our school department. Our first district priority is safety and culture. So we will provide a safe and nurturing environment for our students. Safety has always been a top priority in our schools and continues to be. Our culture must be inclusive of all. Our positive culture will lead to improved student engagement, academic achievement, teacher satisfaction, and the overall climate of the learning environment. Student success is our second district priority. All students need to experience success in school. Student success includes academic performance, as well as cognitive, social, emotional, and physical well-being. Our third district priority is organizational capacity. Our school department must have the capacity to provide all the supports needed for all our schools to succeed. Our fourth priority is financial stability and sustainability. We will use our financial resources to achieve our district goals. We will build programs in schools that are sustainable for future generations. And the last is infrastructure, facility improvement. We have embarked on an exciting and accelerated infrastructure improvement plan. Thanks to this committee, we are committed to providing modern facilities for all students today and well into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Give a round of applause. Thank you, Lee. Okay, next. I have the next couple of slides. So looking at our strategic plan. Not working. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. So district strategic plan priorities for 23-26 school years. So our first priority is improving English language arts. That's our ELA goal. The percentage of this goal is that we, by the end of 2026, would have increased our reading scores to 26%. Dr. Tate, our chief of schools, she'll be going deeper into the finite parts of our ELA goal and data. Our first initiative is to increase the instructional capacity of school administration. So for example, that's what we did today and continuing throughout the school year, where we call our principals and our APs to central office. We're also hosting some of our meetings at the schools so we can have an opportunity to visit each other's school sites as well. So we can visit classrooms and have those conversations so we can calibrate among what effective learning look like for our students. Also, initiative 2 is strengthen our core instructional capacity for all teachers. I know Melissa Lavassier has been key with this initiative with training our teachers, who is a fabulous trainer. And so these are 2 of our goals. This strategic plan is located on the RIOT website. Feel free to go on. You can see all the details. Our second priority is improving our math scores. So our goal is to increase our math scores by 21% by the 25-26 school year. Similar goals because we have to increase our instructional capacity of our school leaders, because when I walked in, we had a lot of focus on managing our buildings. So now we're converting our school leaders from managers to instructional leaders, because that's what we need to improve our student learning outcomes. Also, for our initiative 2, strengthen core instructional capacity for our teachers, it's the same. We have to focus on professional development, ongoing support for not only our students, but all of our personnel in our school buildings. Oh, thank you. And goal 3, of course, graduation rate. So our goal with our graduation rate is to increase by the end of the school year to 76%. We did come up from 69 to 72, and Dr. Tay have the details later. But as you see, if we at least make 4 more % gains, then we would have met this goal. I'm looking forward to exceeding this goal for graduation. So if you look at our initiative, is to improve school attendance rates through the establishment of school and district attendance teams. Those teams were already in place. We're just now being more focused, prioritizing those teams in our school and our district attendance team. As you all know, it'll also be later on in our presentation, that we were recognized by Governor McKee and the commissioner regarding our decrease in our chronic absenteeism by 3% across our district. Also, initiative 2, improve the efficacy of the existing credit recovery program. We added the word existing because it does exist. But again, we're just going to look more deeply into making sure that it is really meeting the needs of our students. And then last but not least, our initiative 3, increase the percentage of students who earn 1 or more CTE credentials prior to graduation. That goal we added because when I came, our CTE data, we were not having our students complete the program, and it had a lot to do with our scheduling. So a lot of our students, some of our CTE programs, you have to be in that program 3 to 4 years. And if a student jumped into a CTE pathway, say their junior year, by the time they graduate seniors, we didn't get credit for it because they didn't complete the whole program. So that's one of the initiatives that we put in place, where we meet with our guidance counselors and leaders to really look at our students who are in our CTE program. So we put them on the path to complete the programs. Okay, next we have Dr. Tate, Chief of Schools.
Good evening. Is this on? Testing, testing. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to talk about the data. Some of it will be a tough pill to swallow, but we're moving on with support. Does this work? Okay. This is my team, or some of my team, the directors. I have Randy Buck, he's Executive Director of Secondary Schools. Kimberly McCahey, Executive Director of Elementary Schools. They provide support to the principals. I have Ryan Wallace, he's new, the Director of Curriculum. He's new to the position. Rachel Moray, she is a new Director of Special Education. You have, everybody knows Rico, Director of CTE. Karen Stern is Director of MLL. Mary Perella, Director of COSI, our after school program. And we have Francesca Dominique, who's the Supervisor of Literacy. She's new as well. And then I have other people under them. It's just huge. The Department of Teaching and Learning is huge. Okay, this is our data. As you can see, we started off here at 16.3%. And now we're down 0.9%. And I will call this within the margin of error. Is anything less than 1 point is within the margin of error. This could have been due to attendance issues. I mean, the people that attended to take the assessment. And this right here just moved up just a little. So it's not a huge decrease, like from 2019 to 23. In between here was COVID. So this is a decrease of 0.9%, which is still within the margin of error, but we don't like any decreases. And we will accept this 0.6 increase in math. And when I go further, I can show you why we decreased this 0.9%. Proficiency, okay, I'm sorry. Proficiency means that we have now 16% of our students, 16.3% of our students are proficient in ELA. That means that 84% of our students cannot read at or above grade level. Same thing for math. 17.5% of our 17.5% of our students are proficient in math.
Testing. Goodness. Okay, if you look back, 2019, go
Oh,
back.
sorry.
That's
Yeah.
the pre-COVID data. So the RIDECast,
Right
for
there.
those that can't see that, was 24% pre-COVID. And then 2023, because COVID was going on for 21, 20, so we picked it back up at 23, was 17%, and we, like she said, marginal error, a little bit in reading. But the math was 17% pre-COVID, 1623, and 1724. So if you look at our math, we've pretty much been stagnant for a while. And similar to ELA math, so that's why we put the pre-COVID data, just to see, you know, are we climbing back at least to where we were pre-COVID.
Okay, these are our subgroups. And you can just take a look. You can see African Americans, 15% of our students are proficient in math, 13 in reading. Hispanics, 13%, 13.7 in math. When we have this star here, that means it's not enough students in that area to get a reading. 2 or more races, and then white. This right here means that less than 5% are proficient. These are the same proficiency scores with the schools. We do have some celebratory schools. We have Cunningham. If you look at Cunningham, 7.1% to 14.4%. That's excellent. And they also went up in math. I think this is the school that went up in both math and reading. We have Curvin. It went from 18% in math to 26%. That's excellent. We have Little that went from 23% to 25%. That's excellent. Varia from 43% to 53%. That's excellent. And then we have Winters, 9.6% to 16.7%. And they also went up in math, 13 to 21%. And this is just a visual, a better visual. 2019 is blue, red is 2023, and yellow is 2024. So it's just a repeat of what we just saw in the previous slide. It's just a better visual. Okay. I can draw your attention to here. If we look at Shea in 2023, they were 12.8 in ELA, and Shea made an increase right here to 18.2%. That's excellent. Also, Shea was below 5%, and now they're above 5%. It's 5.1, but we'll take it above 5%. When we look at Tolman went down just a little from 24 to 23, and also a little bit in math. So math, they are now below the 5% mark. They were at 5.8. They're below the 5% mark, but we have plans we can move that easily. Science is not as bad. Science, everybody, this is JMW, and I do understand why JMW, as you can see, they went down double digits. 23, 24, they went down double digits in math, ELA, and in math, and also in science. Like I said, some of it's tough to swallow, but we have plans to make improvements. Okay.
Let me just add for JMW, JMW have approximately, what, 180 kids, something like that. So when you are at a very small school, one student has a huge
Yes,
impact
It only takes about 5 students to change the data.
to change the data
Yes.
drastically versus a school like Tolman that has 1,100. It's you have more students that you can leverage in making a difference in your scores.
This is the same thing, just a different visual. I
Let
want
me-
to say
wait,
something about
lem-
Slater. Go
Let me
ahead.
just say it.
Okay.
So when we're looking at data, this is not the end all be all, most definitely, because teachers teach not only academically, they teach social skills, they teach emotional skills. They're the mothers, the fathers, the social workers, the nurses, they're everything to these students in the classroom. This is one data point, but it is the data point that we are judged by. And it is an important data point because I often hear people say to me, well, Ms. Royal, it's only one test.
It's the test.
Yes, but it's the test.
It is the test.
That's what we're measured by. It's just like when students want to go get a driver's license, they have what? One test. If they want to enter in college, they have one test. They want to go to the service, they have one test. So we have to prepare our students for that world. They will be assessed on several different occasions to do almost pretty much anything. So it's important that we teach our students test strategies, skills, strategies, and that's our whole goal. It is a test, it is an important test, but that's what we're being judged by. And the RIDecast and the SAT, those are the tools that have been chosen. But we're teaching the standards. We're not teaching SAVIS. SAVIS is our green approved core curriculum resources that we use, but our standards have been in place for a very long time. That's our curriculum that we teach. So those on grade level standards are what we expect students to master before they go into the next grade. We expect students to at least make 1 year's worth of growth in every classroom that they sit in. So, thank you.
Okay. You can see Slater right here. Slater's was at 5.5 and now they're at 5.6. I take that point and I just want to commend Slater because they're working hard and it's a heavy lift that they have. Okay. This is science. Again, right here, when you don't see any data right here, that means that they did not even have 5%. So now Slater here is not at 8.2%. So when I say good things are happening at Slater, they are moving up, and it is a heavy lift because we know that they are a CSIP school. And so Danielle and her crew, they're really doing a good job over there. Okay, so the graduation rate now is at 72%, except the 22-23 school year. The 23-24 school year has not come out yet. So we're trying to move up to surpass that. What is it, the goal, Ms. Royal? 70, 77, 70? Okay. Okay, so these are just a few things that we have in place to support the schools. Not the only things, but the bigger things. We are implementing right now instructional priorities where every school has to choose an instructional priority that will help drive their instructional program and improve academics and improve student achievement. That's a very heavy lift. I don't know if you all know what instructional priorities are and then everything that entails, but it's a very heavy lift and it entails training principals, assistant principals, and teachers to make that happen. We are going to target small group instruction, give a little bit more professional development on how to move students in a small group. We have added instructional resource teachers. We have 4 more to add. These instructional resource teachers act as coaches and also as interventionists because they will pull small groups as well. And they will also support teachers, coach teachers with these instructional priorities and using instructional priorities to move instruction. We have, RIDE has given us 2 math coaches for 9th grade for Shay and Tolman. Just had an interview today for Shay. We are having data chats with the schools where we sit down and we talk about their data and we help them develop a plan so that they can use their data to drive instruction and increase student achievement. We also have instructional learning walks where a group of us from the school and from the district will walk through, do some walkthroughs at the schools, go in and assess their learning, assess the teaching strategies, and then provide support, you know, of how they can grow and improve. We have MLL, social workers, and guidance. So we used part of our MLL categorical so that so we could add social workers and guidance counselors. We added 5 guidance counselors for elementary school, and then we added more social workers for the high schools. And we used the MLL categorical funds so that we can take some of the load off of the social workers by taking the MLL students. However, 20%, 80% of the social workers and guidance counselors will work with MLL students, and 20% of their time they'll work with regular students. So they're not all geared toward MLL. We had the Pawtucket Hope Academy. We are it's getting better. We we are seeking a new director because the director had to resign due to health reasons. And we have the marching band. Woo! We have the marching band is up and running or up and practicing. They have had meetings around the district to recruit students. I think they have over 100 students right now, and they are going to perform at the Thanksgiving game. The drum line is going to perform at the Thanksgiving game. And we added the marching band because for attendance. So if research says that if students belong to something in school, they are more likely to come. So that's one of the reasons RAD allowed us to have a marching band, because we thought that it would, and we do think that it will help our attendance. And then we are going to partner with the CACD or after school support, including SEL initiatives. So those are some of the things that we're going to do to try to improve scores. It is a heavy lift. Change is very difficult sometimes. This is a heavy lift, and we are working toward progress. Thank you. Business office.
Good evening. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the business office. I feel like this is one department where a lot of things go on behind the scenes that people don't really know about. As you can see, I have a rather large team. Adam Olivier is the new controller. Donald Solomon is our new senior accountant. Patricia Lithgow is accounts payable. Bethany Blachette, she's also new. She's accounts payable. Selenia Colon, she's new in payroll. Terry Flurier, benefits. Erin Hewell-Wilbur, she's in payroll. Linda Fontaine is our buyer, and Pauline Tugas is business support. Some of the initiatives that you may not know about, you might need an assist here. Thank you. We are a part of the Protect Our Buildings grant. Essentially, this is a partnership between the Trust and Hartford Steam Boiler. These sensors are essentially like the size of a hockey puck, and they've been installed district-wide. Now, you might ask, what's the benefit of this? I think it is especially important to be proactive instead of reactive. So these sensors in the schools measure if there's moisture in the building, if there's a humidity or temperature change, if the pipes are beginning to freeze. Those are things that we get notified, and we can prevent potential damage before it actually becomes a bigger issue. Another initiative we've been working on, we have regular health insurance. We implemented using Aflac this year to kind of give you some supplemental options. That's flexible spending accounts with health and dependent care, vision insurance, disability, life insurance, term and whole, cancer insurance, critical illness and accident also. One thing that I think may help the district-wide, I think having a little bit of peace of mind, if you can go to work and do your job, that lets you show up and be your best that you can be for the students also. Our health premiums this year increased by 4.67%. Speaking with the superintendent and with the blessing of the school committee, we've been able to offset 4% of that health cost that would have generally gone to all the employees for healthcare premiums. So less than 1% is getting passed on to everyone. Another initiative that I think is important to me is starting monthly budget meetings with the principals. I think it's important to know where they stand with their budgets and have open dialogues about what they need and what they've spent. And all of this is centered around, meeting the needs of what the students need so they can have the best chances that they can.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to talk a little bit about technology, and my team is up here. I have a great team. I'm very proud of my team and the people that work with me on a day-to-day basis. Our goal is really making sure that, educators and the students are there and have what the resources that they need and quickly as we can get it. So there's a couple of people, myself, Paul Abbott that works, those of you that have been here for a while know Paul Abbott's been around for a while, and Ernie Morgan. Sandy, our asset manager that handles all the Chromebooks that come back, the document cameras and, and tagging all of the equipment that we have out there. Kristen is the state data manager for all the data that goes to RIDE on a day-to-day basis. We are required by RIDE to submit our daily attendance, discipline data, and everything that goes in with it. It's a moving ball every day. We have students coming and going in from the district, so making sure that data is clean and submitted to RIDE in a timely fashion. Melissa Williams, the person that answers the phone and gets all the questions that come into our office and kind of routes that appropriately. And Donald Bradshaw, which works in our department for our user manager. He's every person that we hire, every person that may leave district. He's responsible for setting up their accounts and disabling them as needed, which is a big piece. We're a large district, a lot of students, and a lot of staff. So, and our technicians that share between us and the city for all of our buildings. Ruben, Jason, Brian, and Chris, who have been with us for a while. Two of them are new that just joined us this summer, and they've been a great addition to our department. Thank you, Aaron. One of the things that I want to point out, and this is our big thing that we've actually started over the last 2 years, is really comes down to continuity of service. And my biggest goal is to make sure that we're never down. You can't see a news story come across a Google search about some district or some private entity who's had that happen to them. And it's a very tragic thing to happen. So we've tried to put in, things behind the scenes that prevent that from happening on our end. We have to protect our financial systems as well as all of our other systems. So that continuity of service comes in network switches that we've upgraded over the last few years. That's a continuing process. That's basically what handles all of the traffic that goes in and out of our buildings. Server upgrades, security upgrades. This summer alone, my own department single-handedly added many new cameras and doors, door access throughout the district, and we did that all in-house. We're embarking on our phone system upgrade. It's been a little while since we've had our existing phones, so kind of dealing with our current vendor to do a wholesale kind of replacement of all of our phones and upgrades. And then cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a big thing. You know, the state as well as the country is investing a lot in cybersecurity, and my number one belief is that cybersecurity comes through education. All right, because as far as, you know, knowing how to handle that email, which looks a little suspicious, and so we need to make sure that not only are staff educated, but also our students, because they're growing up to be that citizen of the future, and they need to make sure they know how to handle that. So cybersecurity education is a big one. And it's been a little while, and for me, it seems like just yesterday, but I remember being in front of the school committee here, and we talked about our website, and when we turned it over, and we also were facing a lot of COVID things at the same time. So it's time to do a little bit of a revamp, because communication is the most important thing that we can do out there. Communication with our parents, communication with our students and staff. So a couple of things, I just highlighted a few of them, is some new parent resources page for them. So we want to make sure that, the same type of thing that we're giving to our students, we're also giving that kind of information to our parents and students. So that resources are there. We're working on a couple of educator new programs that going to come out this week. Some things that teachers watch out, because there's going to be an email going out this week about some things, new things that you can do with your students on the Chromebooks. And this is kind of a base. I want to kind of thank Erin for the help that she's done along the way for our policies, but we're looking to convert our policy pages for our school committee policy all into multiple languages. So it's available there for everybody. So that's kind of a big lift to move all of that information into different types of pages, but we want to provide those in the best way that we can in multiple languages. The new site as well, some of the changes is been doing some analytics on our current page to see where most frequently visited pages, things like that. But I want to also increase the flow of the navigation as well as responsiveness on, we used to say, hey, can you open up the website on the computer? But now we're talking about cross-platform, also multiple devices that can do that.
Shoot. What's the succession plan? I mean, if we haven't learned anything from
Sure.
Melissa leaving, so who's your direct replacement? Who could step in for you in an emergency, or if you took another position somewhere?
Sure, great question, because that's one of the things I've always tried to make sure that our department has. We cross-train across so Paul Abbott is the person that works mostly. I would say he's my right-hand man within the department, able to pick up all the things that I would need to. And then Ernie kind of is his right-hand person for that. But that's a great question. I think one of the things I'll say for the size of our department, it may look like a lot of people, but we're managing over 1,100 security cameras alone within this district indoor. And I think that's important, that I think the department is in need of a little bit of a build out to handle that, which like we had before in the department. That's a great question, because I think all of our systems need to have that redundancy with them, including the continuity of service. I failed to mention there, one of the things we've done is across the buildings, and Dale had mentioned this in some of the things, but we have alarms that go off. Sometimes it's kind of annoying, but if the power flickers, we get, an alarm that goes off in one of the buildings where our devices may go on to backup battery. And that's one of the things we've done the last 2 years, is we've replaced all of them across the district, which is about 100 separate UPSs across the district. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you the Facilities Department's progress and ongoing work to create safe, welcoming, and inspiring learning environments across our state. We could not do this work without John Cody, who is the director of the facilities, who works directly with our OPM Chris Silver is the assistant director who works boots on the ground, supporting custodial and maintenance staff. And then our unsung hero, Leslie Beatty, who is really behind the scenes, putting on our requisitions, quotes, and communications with the outside vendors. Slide, please. Thank you. So as always, we can go to the next slide. Thank you. So since 2016 collectively, and I think it's important to add context to all the wonderful work and how Pawtucket School Department leads the way across the state, if not the region, that we've prioritized infrastructure improvements with over 70 large-scale projects completed and another 15 currently in progress. Every one of our 16 schools has benefited from this investment in some form or way. To give you a sense of the impact, we've added new roofs, slides, to 7 new schools with additional replacements scheduled for Varia and Curtis this summer. These upgrades not only extend the life of our buildings, but also improve in energy efficiency. Safety will always remain the cornerstone of our work. We've completed over 15 fire and life safety upgrades, ensuring our schools meet the higher standards for fire suppression and code compliance. We've upgraded lighting in 12 buildings to energy efficient LED systems, which enhance visibility and reduce our overall cost. Slide. And beyond infrastructure, we're creating spaces that enrich our students' educational experiences. We've completed 7 new media centers, which are just state of the art, adding more resources for learning. And we continue to renovate our playgrounds, including the most recent Curtis and Cunningham. So looking ahead, our current projects are progressing well. The Baldwin School is set to reach substantial completion by early summer, and the Unified High School project is advancing to the schematic design, with demolition scheduled for March. You'll hear a little bit more about that later. We're committed to maintaining this momentum as we look forward to these and those improvements in the upcoming years. As always, these upgrades are more than just construction projects. They're part of our vision to ensure every child learns in an environment that is supportive and high quality as the education they receive. Thank you all.
Yeah. Here's pictures of the school sites. Thank you.
All right, any questions on the, or comments on the districts? Ms. Doobie?
I know Hirsch mentioned it, but I really do appreciate, I sat down on the policy to ensure that there was a continuity, a working document for future policy subcommittees to ensure that they don't start where I started a decade ago, kind of from scratch to build the policy manual. And it was Hirsch who came forward and said, you know, as part of this, let's ensure that we're not only moving our current policies, but all future policies as part of our operating procedures to ensure they get online is also a translation, and that we're going to equip the website to do that. So I really appreciate that. And then my question is for, as we look at that data, I also looked pretty heavily at the statewide data. And when we have our conversations about what we're going to do, I know, and other people might know as well, that the state saw the exact same trend across the state, saw the same thing, saw reading scores dip, math scores rise, and also saw math scores almost meeting where we were before COVID and reading scores still low. It was almost uncanny how much we matched the exact trends. So are conversations happening at a statewide level to say, I mean, was there something with the test this year that kids didn't get, or is there something we're missing about the curriculum that everyone kind of seemed to have the same misses, but also the same gains on the math side? Are there statewide conversations happening?
Yes, so the commissioner, when she rolls out the data, we all have to go attend her meeting, half-day meeting, and we go through the data. She goes through her trends that she had identified. Each district has an opportunity to choose their own core resources to use. We have Sabbaths, like I said earlier, but still, it still have to do with professional development. So she had a lot of the high trends that she saw across all of the cities. One thing was, we need to plan for more professional development. That was a highlight for all of our districts. Everything else is just depended. And then also another thing was attendance, which was a common thread. So we fortunate decreased our chronic absenteeism by 3%, but that plays a huge impact. And then also looking at not only student attendance, she also talked about teacher and administrator attendance. So just those were her highlight aha things that she saw the trends across each city. And those are things that we're working on anyway, moving forward. So those were the trends that she discussed.
Anything else? All right, nicely done, Superintendent. Thank you. Move to approval of previous meeting minutes from 9/11/24 and 10/15/24. Motion to approve the minutes of 9/11 and 10/15 by Ms. Spinola, seconded by Ms. Doobie and Mr. Shalal. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, new business discussion action items. Pawtucket High School approval to submit early release package 1 for the demolition of McCoy Stadium, early site work to RIDE School Building Authority. Everybody's here today.
Just in case. there's
Everyone
questions.
knows Holly from Colliers, Gordon from Shawmut.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's so nice to see you. So this is a milestone. This is our first package that will go to RIDE for review for the demolition of McCoy. What you have in front of you is a summary of the package. You have the estimate, the project schedule, the approval from local historic, as well as the first few pages of the plan. So Gordon is here to answer any questions you may have. Right now, the mobilization is scheduled for February with demo starting in March.
I'll just add to that. So, this includes mobilization, which means, we clear and grub the site. Temporary fencing, which is about 4,000 linear feet. That'll go around the whole entire site for safety reasons. Trailer and site utilities. There is a 30-inch, you'll see on one of the numbers, the site number, I believe, that it's a large number, but that includes a 30-inch sewer main that goes right through the new building. So to start the ground improvements for the new building, we have to move that sewer line, and that's included in this package here. And that's just to help the schedule move forward quickly. Along with that is obviously the demolition of McCoy. And in that is making safe the whole site, the utilities get disconnected, all of that. And then the temporary construction, we'll have to set up temporary power for the construction site. Security cameras will be included in that as well. And then we'll start prepping the ground. Once we move that sewer line, we'll start prepping the ground for the ground improvements, which will allow us on the next iteration to structurally build the building. So that's what's included in that package. If there's any questions, I'm happy. Like, as Holly said, we'll mobilize in February. And then we'll start the demolition in March and start that relocation of that sewer. It'll take about 3 months for the demolition, hopefully to improve that. We see anywhere between 2 and 3 months to complete the demolition. And then we see 2 to 3 months to complete that sewer relocation. It's a 30-inch line. It's about 12 to 15 feet below grade. So it's a pretty heavy lift. And that's included in this package.
I also, once RIDE reviews it, then they'll give us the approval, and then we will come back in January for the RTA to approve whoever will be doing the demo. So this is really just to get it over to RIDE.
Motion to approve the early release package 1 submission of RIDE by Ms. Doobie, seconded by Mr. Shalal. Any discussion on the submittal? I would just, once we have the demolition timeline, can we make sure if that occurs in January that it's out there publicly so the neighbors and abutters and everybody in the city knows the timeline to take that down? Amen. Thank you. Any other discussion on this, Ms. Spinola?
So, well, general, It's been on the news, it's been in the paper where all the other districts are having issues with the increase in cost of building, so they keep changing their mind. We've got a huge building that we're building. Make us feel comfortable.
Well, all I can say is that, the districts, other districts are seeing a problem with budgets. Shawmut's in 5 districts in the state right now, and every project is on budget and on time. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work with the architect, Jonathan Levy. We've already talked about it, you know, we know what's ahead of us. And we're working right now towards that. We see the trends, we have the data that tells us what it costs per square foot. I don't know about my competitors, but I know what we have in-house. And Jonathan and I already did it once, we're gonna do it again. So, you know, we won't come to you for more money if that's the question. We can't, and we know we can't. So we're not gonna do it. We're gonna work within what we have with Colliers. We're just, the team has been unbelievable. I mean, that's how we got to Baldwin's budget, and we're gonna do the same for the high school. It's a larger number, but we're all in this together. We open our books and we say, look, this is what we have, let's make it work, and we do. So I can't say that we're gonna be over budget.
So I know we've done well with Baldwin, so you don't anticipate any purchasing delays in the future? In other words,
I wish I had a crystal ball, but,
yeah, well,
no, I don't, because if it's all about the plan. And if we execute the plan the way we've been executing the rest of the districts in Baldwin, we're gonna be okay. We know what the issues are. We get out in front of them you'll see another early release package come mid next year for the electrical, because we know that electrical is still an issue, believe it or not. The good thing about this school is that we're out in front of the other high schools in the state right now. Our schematic design is coming out soon. We're getting pricing from the streets, so we're out in front of it. And, you know, as long as we stay with that trend and we get out in front of it, we should be fine. We know what the early release packages need to be. Working together as we speak as a group, we have group sessions with all the engineers, and we work together to say, okay, we need this at a certain time to make the schedule work. We need this at a later date to make the schedule work. And if the whole team is rowing in the same direction, we accomplish those tasks. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's been a very cohesive group. It helps that we all work together at Baldwin, so we really understand how each other works. And it's been, the district has been very, very active in all aspects of it. So it's really moving, and that's the key, is to stay ahead of it and to just keep pushing, because there's so many moving parts. But so far it's been, you know, we all recognize what's happening in the world with expenses. We see it in other districts, but we also recognize, we know what long lead items are and get ahead of that. So we're really confident that we will be fine. We're backing into a number. We understand that, and the school will be
And
magnificent.
we also have RIDE included in these conversations. We're meeting with RIDE
Yeah.
periodically. They understand what we need. You know, they're on board with getting these early release packages out. I mean, some of these numbers are gonna be big when you see them. It's not like a $60 million school, right?
Yeah.
So some of these numbers are gonna be very big. So we're meeting with RIDE, so they understand that, you know, to accomplish our date in 28, then we need their support, and they're on board so far, so.
And they're even on board for CTE. They're on board not just for the construction. They're on board for the programming and really being helpful, you know, trying to figure out if there's available funding for programs, and it's not just construction, right? Because bringing in these CTE programs and the equipment, it's expensive, right? So to get partners with the community, all of that, we really need to move everything at the same time forward.
Anything else? All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve. It's been seconded. No further discussion. Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Manolo, Ms. Carney, Mr. Shalal, Ms. Juby, Ms. Fernandez, Ms. Grant, Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes, thank you both. All right, Dale, you up? Next item is Colliers Project Leaders Contract Extension to continue to provide project management services for the $220 million bond and the capital program of projects.
Yes, Colliers, well, they were originally awarded the contract in June 6, 2019. We extended them out 2 years, and that contract is coming to a close December 31st, 2024. They're currently working on all our projects right now. And so we're looking to extend them another 2 years with the contract ending December 31st, 2026.
Contract extension for Collier's project leaders by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Doobie. Any discussion?
Is this just to operate our bond money, or is this to run all facility? This is the first time I guess we did it in 19, but
Yep, so you did it in 19, then it was extended in August 1st, 2022. So this would be all our capital projects and the bond. Yeah, capital improvements.
Okay. Any other discussion on this? If I may, I think one thing, one of the votes I'm most proud of casting is when we hired Colliers 9 years ago. Between Derek, Holly, John Winokur at the time, Gianna, Megan, the whole team. I think you saw up there in the superintendent strategic review what the scope of projects we've done over the last 9-10 years. And none of that is possible without having built out that team. It's just not. So I think this committee has been very well served by Colliers. And I think, for as many times as they've been at that podium and we've been hammering them on things, they have stayed true to the mission, stayed true to the course, and they've showed up every day for the kids in this city. And you know what? When you go out and award these huge contracts and the huge contracts the new committee will award in the future, be mindful of the people you're hiring to bring into this district. That's it. Roll call on the approval?
Bonolo. Mrs. Carney. Mr. Shalal. Ms. Doobie. Ms. Fernandez. Ms. Grant. Mr. Shabano.
Yes. All right, Barrier Elementary, thank you, Dale. Barrier Elementary School roof replacement design review. Dr. Andre again. Oh, Gianna, who's coming up?
Good evening, school committee members. Just a quick comment. We're very pleased and honored to continue serving this district. It's been a pleasure. As this is, I think, my last time for this year before going on maternity leave. Today, we have a Studio G, the architect, working on Barrier Elementary School roof design. And we would like to present a design progress to the school committee where we are and what's going on over there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gianna. Good evening, everyone. My name is Philip Conte. I'm an architect with Studio Jade. I have a very brief presentation on the roof replacement project. So we will update you on the existing conditions that we reviewed, present our design approach, and go over our schedule. Next slide. So we do concur with the previous roof report that the roof is at the end of its useful life and is in need of replacement, the complete assembly from the roof down to the decking. Next slide. In general, the roof drainage is very poor. It lacks from a real good slope to the roof drains. Obviously, as you could see in that picture, roof access is not ideal, and we want to correct that. I am happy to say that through our assessment and testing and sampling that there is no hazardous material present. So that will have a beneficial impact on the cost estimate, on the costs when those bids are put out onto the street. Next slide. So our design approach is to install a built-up roof system similar to what Pawtucket has done at all the other roof projects. Includes a vapor barrier, insulation, and then a base and cap sheet. Certainly every bit of a 30-year roof assembly there. Next. We are going to improve the roof drainage, and the way we're going to do that is by building up the roof edges with tapered insulation so that we can have positive drainage down to the roof drains. The benefit of that is it does increase the R value. In the roof assembly right now, there's only 2 inches of insulation on there. When we're complete, you'll have a minimum of 6 inches more in some places to achieve that slope. So you'll recognize that in its thermal performance.
On the drainage part, when you make the slopes,
Mhm.
is this drains going into the ground or is this runoff going into the surrounding area of the school?
That's a great
And
question.
what will that impact?
Sure. So right now, all of the roof drainage is served through roof drains that go through the building into the system underground. Nothing discharges to the site. We will be putting in emergency overflows. So if you do see rainwater discharging, then you have a problem up on the roof. But no, all the roof drain is internal. There it is. We will put those emergency overflows in, so we'll know if we have a problem. We are carrying the relocation of that roof hatch as an add alternate, and we will be raising equipment and flashing so that we can have positive drainage and not put any of the roof out of warranty with equipment that is too low. Next slide. So we'll work through design documentation now through the end of the year. We'll go out to bid and have pre-construction activities through the winter and the spring, which will nicely put us in a position to do this roof next summer. Any questions or comments?
Summer?
That is the plan. That's why we want to go out to bid in the winter time so they can procure their materials, and the first day they can access the site when students are gone, they will do so.
Okay. It makes
And
it-
since there's not any abatement, that's a good thing.
ran into a few roofing issues where it's run into the school time and it's become very problematic. So that's a timeline that's really concerning.
Noted. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Do we have a motion on the floor, then? Motion to approve the Barry Elementary School roof replacement design submission of RIDE by Mr. Shalal, seconded by Ms. Doobie. Discussion? There being none, roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonolo, Ms. Carney, Mr. Shalal, Ms. Doobie, Ms. Fernandez, Ms. Grant, Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, we will go to discussion items and open it up. Monthly vendor, budget transfer, work order summary, enrollment update. Ms. Grant.
Just wondering about the work order update. The work orders seem kind of high, and I didn't know if there was a reason. Is it that we don't have staff to be able to take care of it, or is it getting supplies to come in? But it just seems quite high.
Sure. They are high because unfortunately it's a big, I shouldn't say vacancies. We have 7 maintenance persons that support this work across the district, and we're down by 50%. So a vacancy for a plumber and a vacancy for an electrician. So we're very hopeful with the support of Mr. Shalal, moving forward with the contract negotiations. Once it's solidified out, we feel that we're going to be much more advantageous of recruiting a plumber and electrician. And unfortunately, we're down to additional maintenance persons as well.
Okay,
It's truly been all hands on deck, and we'll take a shout out to the few maintenance that are here, working tirelessly to just try to keep up with the demands.
do we, I'm assuming they're able to get overtime. I know at one time we had a stop on overtime, but I'm assuming they're using overtime to, get some of this work done.
Trying to be as creative and as efficient as possible to make sure that prioritizing those high need maintenance concerns are being addressed as quickly as possible.
Do you think at our next meeting, you could provide us, or even maybe just through Diana, send out to us a overtime report for maintenance facilities? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Clarification. I don't have the ability to stop overtime. Overtime is a part of their contract. So anytime we call in maintenance, anyone, we have to pay them mandatory so many hours for overtime. So I don't have a choice in that. We have to. So when they come in, we have to pay overtime. It's written in their agreement, contract agreement. So
Well,
we,
I think I meant will be asking, offering it to them to help get the work orders. Of course, if they come in, we have to pay them.
oh yeah, that's,
But I know at one time we weren't getting a lot of things done because we weren't kind of putting that out there. But if we don't have as much staff, are we offering it to the employees to be able to come in?
yes, because I think Mark just came to my office today and said we have some people come in on weekends, so it's continuing, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
Finello.
On the budget report, usually, when we've had it before, it's moved from one to another account, and it usually shows that. And it doesn't seem to, it shows where the transportation contracts regular went from one place to another. But what is the, contract special education? So in other words, we're taking it out of office supplies and we're putting it into this place, and that's always been the way it's been shown, so. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? All right, we will move to superintendent's update.
Good evening again. So, a couple updates. This past Friday, November 8th, I had the opportunity to attend the Key Spirit Award breakfast. These athletes from our schools were recognized for representing the heart and soul of their teams. The Key Spirit Award wasn't just about the athletic skills, but it was about their dedication, their spirit, and how they uplift those around them. It was an honor for me to attend. Each recipient gave a speech. We had one gentleman that was, during his speech, he had only been in our country for 3 months. And he wrote a speech and did an awesome job. So we have phenomenal kids. So it was a great opportunity for me and I enjoyed every moment of it. Also, we have our let's give a round of applause for our Key Spirit recipients. All right. Wake up around here. Come on. All right. So we have our upcoming Superintendent Family and Community Night coming. Please join us and engage with the district leaders and myself at this fall community night. This year we have Tuesday, November 19th. Mark your calendar. Tuesday, November 19th from 4:30 to 5:30. We'll be at Fallon Elementary School. And also from 6 to 7, we'll be at Green Elementary School. So we're looking forward to families coming to hear what's going on in Pawtucket with your babies. Also, light refreshments will be provided on that evening. This past Thursday, I conducted our school committee site visit last Thursday with committee member Joanne Bonolo and Marsha Fernandez. We visited Shea High School, Very Elementary, and Pawtucket Hope Academy. Kudos to all of our amazing hardworking students and teachers across our entire district. School committee members got to witness firsthand the great learning and teaching happening in our school during the visit. We also had, Joanne, you could jump. Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something. Okay. We had the opportunity to observe a few arts classrooms and were able to engage in the band informational session at Shea. Very exciting. So I think currently, Dr. Tate said earlier, we have over 100 students signed up for the marching band, but we're still looking for an instructor for our dancerette and majorette. So if you know anyone that has dancing skills, please send them our way. Have them to reach out to Rico, our CTE Teacher of the Year. Also, our arts program is vitally important. And we know, if you know anything about the arts, music, band, etc., it is important when we educate our students. And I just wanted to share quickly what are some benefits of the arts program. We attended, when we visited some art classrooms at Shea as well. And I try to get to the arts programs. So one benefit is social and emotional learning. Arts education can help students develop empathy, manage their emotions, and process trauma. It also lends itself to academic achievement. Arts education can improve writing scores and college aspirations. For example, drawing can support writing skills, and music can be connected to spatial reasoning and math. Critical thinking. Arts education can help students think critically about their own work and the work of others. And of course, it brings out their creativity, it stimulates their imagination and problem-solving skills. So in addition, good news, we applied for a grant and we received the $381,000 grant from RIDE to enhance our arts program here in our school district. We're trying to get all the money in Pawtucket. Okay. Next, before I wasn't here at the last school committee meeting, but I watched, and I heard one of my teachers talk about the Disney productions, and I just wanted to assure you that Rico Pimentel did apply for that same grant. We received the grant, so we will continue planning for our Disney production. So thank you, Rico, for applying for that grant and receiving it. Depends on how much money each program, right? It's a grant. So we've had it for what, 4 or 5 years now. I think the grant's been in play. So we're just gonna continue with the grant.
I think the concern of the teachers were that in the past, they were paid or were given a stipend to help in that. And I think they were wondering if that was also included in that.
I will have to get with Rico to see how much money he's gonna allocate out of that grant. So, yeah. And if they have any questions, like the teacher last committee meeting that was asking the questions, Rico is the one that has the grant and apply for, so he can sit with her and help plan the needs of the schools. Also, last but not least, I want to just do a huge shout out to Shea High School, our Rhode Island Interscholastic League Boys Soccer Division II champions. Woo! Go Raiders! And also congratulate Atoma High School 2024 Rhode Island Interscholastic League Girls Volleyball Division II champions. All right. Well deserved. Go Tigers. So we're sweeping awards. Thank you.
Ms. Connie,
Is it my?
it is your turn.
Oh, I didn't know if Ms. Spinola was going to go first. We're going around the table. Okay, we'll start. This is going to be one of my last few times to address everyone publicly. So I would like to thank everyone who originally had the faith and hope in me to do the best for kids, that had voted for me to be part of this committee, and all of my colleagues that have worked really hard. Couldn't be prouder of Superintendent and her team. I hope that everybody knows the day in and day out work that I try to bring front and center, the hours, the time that it takes for you to build your team, and all of the positive things that you bring to us every single meeting that we all should be clapping for. We're all so excited for. So really proud of our kids. As far as the test scores go, that was a hard pill to swallow. Between 2015 and 2019, we had made gains in ELA, we had made gains in math, and we had made gains in graduation requirements. And from 2019 to 2023, again, it started to decline. We do follow state averages, as Ms. Dubey had stated. However,
State and national averages also show that students with an IEP or a learning disability is about 10 to 15% of our students. And again, students graduate every day and read on and above grade level and do math on or above grade level with an IEP for any condition. We have students that have come to this country that take a little bit longer to learn English and perhaps grasp the curriculum, but we have had a student in 3 months here write a speech. If you were to add those numbers together, we're looking about 25% of the population that might inhibit or have barriers to their learning to help them read and write on grade level. That leaves us with 75% of students that come to school every single day with no barrier. We have every single one of our schools as a Title I school across this district. Every single school faces poverty in this district. Yet we do have one school. And I've heard other people ask along the way, what makes it different? And I'll tell you, I've learned here firsthand some of the things that I will have seen a difference, and I'll say them now. I used to walk through one school that had the highest reading rates in this district, and there were papers on every corridor and door that said teacher responsibility, student responsibility. I had other districts calling me, asking to sit in on those professional learning communities because every teacher showed up on time with their data, talked about how to deliver differentiated instruction to all their students, and every student mattered, and then they went out and they did it. It can be done. And they would ask me as CAO then, how come you cannot scale up your other schools? And I said, that's the biggest question. That's the $1 million question. Because not every single person here is able to do that. It's the instructional leaders that we want to offer professional development to and the coaches that you have complained about investing in. It is about guidance counselors in elementary schools that you have pushed back on. So when our teachers are not trained and our instructional leaders are not trained, and we don't have guidance counselors in school, who else do we have left to blame but ourselves in that classroom? Teacher of record. So when you say the closest to kids know better, then have them do better, because my stomach hurts that I still have less than 5% of my kids in my middle schools in this district that cannot read and write on grade level. It makes me angry that I have done this work myself as a teacher, as a curriculum director, as an instructional coach, as a school committee member, and it still has gone backwards. Put that time and energy that you have pulling t-shirts out of the trunks of your car and making signs. And yes, I have had teachers tell me that they've had to come under a call of arms from their union, that they had to show up. It was the expectation. You put that time and energy that you take making into signs and put it into differentiating lessons in your classroom and thinking about what your kids need every day and making that time valuable, then maybe we'll see an increase in our reading scores. And until then, while I'm not on this committee, I will be at that podium and I will be watching that data. And I will be asking those same questions. So the ones closest to the kids know best, do best. I pray and hope that we can have our students come back to where they were and be the best Pawtucket we can be. Because your teachers also reported in 2017 on a formative assessment that 75% of their kindergartners were reading at or above grade level. Teacher reported data at the end of that year. What happened? We closed an emergency gap in 2017, first graders by 40% in reading. What happened? That's my update. Thank you, everyone, for your support. While I've been on this committee, I will continue to serve this community. I love these kids. I love the teachers. I love this team, and I love them enough to continue to be angry about it. So that's my piece, and thank you, and have a good night.
Ms. Connie. Ms. Fernandez.
So this is my last opportunity? This is my last update?
Well, one of our last. I just
We got
wanted
one
to
more
take
meeting,
advantage of it.
yeah. No, because today's, today's one of those days. It's another one of those tough days, for me. I walked in here and I was just kind of like, it brought me back to a couple of years ago, the night that we voted for our superintendent. I saw, new school committee members here, which I was really happy to see. And then there was one who, was up there already pointing fingers in our superintendent's face. Disgusting, disgusting. And wouldn't even shake Mr. Segala's hand for whatever reason. These are the people that this city voted in. I really, really hope, and I heard someone on this committee, I won't name names, someone on this committee who said, well, at least there'll be 3 people of color on the committee. Great, great. But I want you to think about something. The same mayor who uses the Cape Verdean people of this community to take pictures with and do photo ops and get his votes, single-handedly took out the one Cape Verdean in this city that sits on this school committee. So I really hope our Cape Verdean population is paying attention, right? And why did that happen? Because I don't vote the way that people want me to vote, just like the Teachers Alliance. I didn't realize when I first ran that asking for an endorsement meant I was like signing away my soul. And if I didn't vote the way the Teachers Alliance wanted me to vote, then they too, like the mayor's office, would, I don't know, blacklist me or whatever it is you all did, right? With your dirty schemes, okay? So I just really, really hope, and for all the people that don't, I'm gonna go back to that podium because you mentioned that podium, because I'll be at that podium too. And let's talk about that podium, that you all were so angry that I had the audacity to stand up there and point out the fact that let me remind all of you, that we wanted to put forward a white principal who came from Westport with 1% of the population, never had worked in an urban school. That's who you guys wanted to interview as our superintendent. And because I had the nerve to stand up there and stand up to all of you, the city council decided to change the charter, to put in a new ordinance to make it raw. You can't go up to the podium if you're on a committee. That's how this city operates, okay? You say something they don't like, they change an ordinance? Come on now, come on. All of this, and I know all of you are sitting out there thinking, no, this doesn't exist. And every time I hear anybody bring up race, I hear people say, no, not here, not here, not here. Let me tell you, I am disgusted to hear a teacher call the kid a nigger. Disgusted. So you guys take that, okay? Because this is what we're dealing with. It is not a secret. It's not a rumor. In front of a room full of kids, okay? Don't you dare stand up for that teacher. Don't you dare. This is our city, and I really hope I have nothing against you guys, and I wish you all the luck, and I am very sad that this city used you guys to get you in here, because you guys are probably wonderful people, and I wish you all the best. But don't sit up here and do what the mayor tells you to do, what the superintendent tells you to do, what Jim Shalal tells you to do. Do what is right for the kids, because we've lost that. That is not what this committee is about. And I will remind you of one more thing. Yeah, we got 3 people of color now on our committee, okay? But you guys remember the majority. 1, 2, 3, and then that Wildenhain who couldn't even shake someone's hand, who had the nerve to sit and yell at the superintendent. That's who this city voted in. So all of you voters, everybody who lives in this city, pay attention. Pay attention. Disgusted. I couldn't even focus on this meeting thinking about the fact a friggin' teacher did this. Disgusted. I am sorry. Thank you, I'm done.
Ms. Spinello.
No, I'm not okay. I'm disgusted.
Ms. Spinello.
So, the superintendent said a lot of what I wanted to say, and that was congratulations to our sports teams because they have over the past few years raised the bar in Pawtucket and come forward. I did go on the visitations at Shea, Varia, and the PHA, and I was pleased with what I saw. Yes, do they need help in certain areas? Yes, they do. But hopefully there's a plan in place, and I am looking forward to hearing more of what we do. PHA has approximately 23 students now, but it didn't look fully staffed as far as a lot of teachers, so I'm waiting for the day when it can be what was dreamed of, what we wanted it to be. I did meet their behavioral specialists, and I was very pleased with what I saw. They actually took the time and they made the room special for the kids that would be there for a timeout or a relaxation room. And they took the time, they have beanbag chairs and they have things on the walls, and so I was really pleased with that, to see, a way for our students to remove the stress from their life and to be able to focus on education and get back into a regular school. So I was very happy with that. I did not hear about, my grapevine must be slow. I did not hear about the teacher who said that. That's not acceptable in anybody's book. It's just not. We are what we are. I'm white. You're black. But we are what we are. It's, and I was the one who said that we had people of color, and I didn't say we had people of color. I said we had a diverse committee, which I meant was we have a Colombian coming in, we have Puerto Rican, we have a Dominican, and yes, they're people of color, but it's diverse. They come from different places and they've learned different things. It's diverse, and that's what I am looking forward to. This political season has been horrendous for most people in politics. It's been mean, it's been nasty. I have actually woken up for the first time in 18 years and said, do I really want to do this? And this is something I enjoy doing for the kids. So hopefully things will get better and we will find a way to change. That's all. Good night.
Mr. Shalal.
In light of the temperature of this room, I had many things to say, especially since this is one of our last meetings, possibly with committee member Connie. I definitely wanted to acknowledge working with you. But I'm gonna cut everything short. And just though, I do want to acknowledge though, because again, these jobs, with everything on the outside that was brought up, it's about the children. And I can't go without recognizing Tolman, the Tolman girls volleyball team. But personally to me, even though I don't have a favorite school, correct? But I'm a graduate of Shea High School. Let's go Raiders. We are Shea High, the Shea High soccer team to win the Division II state championship. Just an incredible accomplishment. With that, good night.
Ms. Grant.
I just wanted, to kind of echo Mr. Shalal. I was working Saturday night and a mom, she's a woman who I've never met her, but she texts me and emails me quite a bit. And she was so proud. Her daughter is on the volleyball team. And she sent me a picture and she was very proud. And to the soccer teams, and we have some wonderful students in our district. And they deserve the best. You know, I think moving forward, you know, it would be nice if we could all, you know, kind of all come together a little bit more. You know, we do it for the kids. And everyone supposedly does it for the kids. I know everyone at this table does it for the kids. Whether we disagree or don't disagree, I know everyone at the table does it for the kids. And that's who we need to make sure is always at the forefront. And we need to make sure, like when Ms. Rabbit got up there about security and safety, these are people's children. We need to make sure they're safe here, they're treated with respect here, and then that they're also taught. And they deserve that. Like all of us had that opportunity in our lives. So I just want to say goodnight. I don't think we have another meeting until after the Thanksgiving holiday. So I do want to wish everyone a nice holiday and a small little break, and we'll see you in December.
Ms. Doobie.
So we'll keep that December meeting nice and short then, and we'll say our parting words now. But I did want to say, that when I came on this committee a decade ago, there were a majority of new members. And I didn't realize at the time how lucky that was, because I realized we have a lot of growth to do, but essentially that majority coming on, I do believe was the reason that we made such accelerated and pointed facilities improvements over the past decade, because we were able to imagine that things could be different. And you could say, well, they lifted the moratorium, everyone would have done it, but no other committee did in this state. No other committee seized that moment because they were risk adverse. They were just used to doing things the way they were doing it. They're not going to take on 7 big projects at a time, but we did. And we moved aggressively to secure funds. And that's why Pawtucket was ahead, because we had new members who could imagine that it was possible. The committee was able to imagine that we could take on a 6-year project to overhaul the policy manual. I might have been the chair, but it was this committee that had to sit through policy after policy. Well, members of this committee, that 3-4 late nights of looking at policy to be able to move that goal. And I don't think it would have happened if it were a majority of people who had been on the committee before. So this is the first time in a decade that that's going to happen again. And if my stepping aside is what is going to facilitate that, then, and it is, my stepping aside will facilitate that happening, where there will be 4 new members on this committee. And I think that that means it is a potential for that growth to happen again. And I say to those members that just think about what made you sign up to run, what made you decide that you wanted to get involved in this work, because a lot can get in your head and a lot of voices can get in your head during the campaign process. And as soon as you hit the ground here, and if you stay focused on the reasons you decided to run and continue to push those goals aggressively, I can tell you it is possible to get big things done. It's just really important that you remember why you ran and stay true to that. So that is my parting words of advice.
Thank you, Ms. Doobie. All right, good night, everybody.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Ms. Fernandez, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion's